Hello everyone, it's Julie Heinrich, Marketing New Business Development Manager for CTSI, back with you on another beautiful day for our YouTube series, All About It, or All About IT. It's really however you want to look at it. I'm very excited today to have Jeff Baucum with us. He is our Technology Consultants Manager and also one of the sons of our co-founders. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to get his insight and on the history of CTSI and just all about what's going on in IT. So welcome, Jeff, to the show.
Thank you, Julie.
Sure. Okay, so if you would just give everybody a little bit of a background on, your role and who you are.
Sure.
Things.
Yeah. Like you said, the son of one of the co-founders. My dad, David, started the company back in '85. So I grew up here in Lubbock, oddly enough, surrounded by computers and technology. I thought that's just how everything was. We had back in those days in the 80s, we had classroom sets of computers at school, and I had one at home. And I just thought that maybe everybody had a computer at home. Didn't realize that was pretty special. So that I guess you could say is kind of born into it, if you will, the way that all worked out. So grew up here in Lubbock, graduated from Coronado, then spent some time at Texas Tech. And I started with CTSI in 2003. So it's been an adventurous 21 years with the company.
Yeah. So, did you kind of always know that this was the path you wanted to take, or did you just stumble into it just because your dad, or?
A little of both, I would say. Mm-hmm. I didn't, how would I put it? I didn't necessarily go into school thinking that I needed to prepare myself for a career in the IT business. It just worked that way. The company needed someone, and at the time, the director of sales contacted me and asked if I would interview for a position, and that's how I got started back in 2003. And obviously, like you said, my position has morphed and changed over the years, and I've worn many hats that have led to, I guess you would say, my overall experience in the industry and being able to bring a breadth of knowledge, if you will, to the role that I'm currently in. But no, I wouldn't necessarily say that I went into it knowing that that's what I wanted to do. It needed to happen naturally.
Yeah.
And that's the way it worked out.
So, around the time, I guess, when your dad was starting the company, what was that time like? Do you just remember lots of, late nights, or just him bringing a lot of computers home, or was it?
It was interesting. It's not a secret to anyone. My dad's quite a hard worker and always has been. It was, there were times where my mom would call him at the office saying, hey, dinner's ready. We have food on the table. You said you were going to be home an hour ago, that kind of thing. He just did what it took, to keep things going. And so that meant there were times where we might not see my dad a whole lot because he needed to be at work. He needed to, keep the lights on, if you will. He just worked hard. And there were times where it was sort of a Saturday morning ritual. My dad would get my brother and I, and then eventually my younger brother, Blake, when he became old enough to get away from my mom's constant attention. He would drag us out of bed on a Saturday morning, and we'd go grab donuts. And my dad would work all day at the office and check on us periodically to make sure we hadn't broken anything in the building. And so I spent quite a bit of time at CTSI, obviously even before I was an employee. So it was a fun experience.
Yeah. Almost kind of seems as if you were destined. Maybe you didn't know it at the time, but this
Correct.
is where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah.
Yeah, been in the pyramid a while, huh? So you know that building very well.
I've seen that building for a lot of years.
Yes, yep. Yes. So, what, as your role for Technology Consultants Manager now, so what kind of does that entail, and, what does your day-to-day look like?
So the Technology Consultants Manager, it's a great role for me. I feel like the rest of the team, they report to me from kind of a day-to-day perspective. I spend a lot of time with the guys, helping them work on projects, or if they get stuck on an issue, this is how we need to address that. It's a group effort sometimes to get things done, and you're well aware of that and the way things work at our company.
Yeah.
And then, of course, managing my own accounts as well. That takes quite a bit of my time also. But it's very rewarding, very rewarding.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I know that, you and I have worked together for, I guess, going on 12 years, and that's been, going on 13, I guess, but that's been a wonderful experience for me, and I've learned a lot from you and just enjoyed, all the things that we do and kind of the way that we have worked together to get to where we are.
That synergy there, it's hard to believe it's been 13 years, but yeah,
I know.
right.
I know.
You're
Sometimes
right.
It feels like longer and sometimes feels like shorter. It's just crazy.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure for you too. I mean, for 21 years, that's a long time.
It's flown by. It's flown by though. They say the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
And I feel that. I feel that immensely.
Yeah. So, I mean, with you being in the IT industry for so many years, I mean, you've seen it change. I mean, it changes all the time. It changes daily. But I know for you, it's probably been a longer and kind of like bigger jumps, if you will. Was there anything, I guess, from this year that you saw was kind of a big change that you think is going to carry over into the next year, years to come?
I do think, and maybe not necessarily can pinpoint 2024, but I think the current inflection point, if you will be around artificial intelligence. Machine learning and artificial intelligence is here to stay. I think what we're faced with as an industry, as a society in general, is how do we harness the power of that technology but do it safely? That's something that it's going to continue to evolve. It will be just like the advent of the personal computer. There were customers that we had when I started in 2003 that not every user at company XYZ had a computer. And nowadays, if you don't have a computer or don't have access to the software or the internet, then a lot of people may as well go home. And I think that's what we're seeing with the artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that. The power that can bring to the industry as a whole, but society in general, it's pretty amazing. And that's just going to continue to evolve and grow. And we'll just have to make sure that that's, like I said, used safely and harnessed appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're approaching holiday season too. Are there conversations you're having with your clients or, things that from either cybersecurity standpoint or just any kind of planning standpoint that you're, talking to them about or that you would tell business owners to be aware of?
I think the holiday scams is one of those things that we need to pay attention to. The bad guys are out there. They're very active. They're getting very good at being tricky and fooling people into clicking on things that they shouldn't. That's something that it's constant awareness is what we have to preach at this point. That and, we're paying attention to the Windows 10 end of support coming up in October next year. That's something that people need to get ahead of. Because getting computers upgraded or replaced will take a bit of effort to move to Windows 11. But tying that all together, I think the cybersecurity aspect is going to be something that we continue to preach because that's going to be the weak point for a lot of businesses that we support. That the user base is going to be the issue. The mistakes that people can make clicking on something that they shouldn't, opening something that they shouldn't, accidentally initiating a wire transfer that's fraudulent. Those things that can happen that the bad guys are very good at promoting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know just even from a personal standpoint, my mom actually just told me how she thought she ordered something from Wayfair. And turns out it's not from Wayfair, but they're having this issue where everyone's thinking that that's where they're ordering from because they have all these deals and these holiday deals. And so I'm having to have that conversation even on a personal level of like, don't believe everything you see.
Yep, cancel credit cards and all of that. Yeah.
All right. Well, is there, anything else, I guess, or, from your standpoint, why you feel like it would be important to have an IT partner for your business?
I think the biggest advantage that we bring to the table, CTSI and other companies like us, is we're an entire team, an entire company dedicated to your IT support, your security posture. The difference between working with someone like us versus having internal IT support is you're limited to the knowledge of that person or those people if you have multiple IT staff. Where we bring a lot of exposure and experience to the table. We get to see a lot of different things from different industries because of the broad customer base that we have. And so that knowledge is very usable and applicable to the rest of our customer base. So that's the biggest difference, I would say, and a big advantage that we have over having a company that just has 1 or 2 or 3 internal IT staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would add, or any other stories you want to share from those early CTSI days? Maybe that you're allowed to share.
There's plenty of stories. One of the things that the pyramid is a uniquely shaped building. Mm-hmm. We've been in there for a while, so you're very well aware.
Yeah.
The internal space, how would I say this? All of the suites are built around the exterior perimeter of the floor space, and the internal space is just empty air, mm-hmm. which is very unique, and it's very cool from a architectural perspective. But one of the things that got us in trouble is when I was a kid, we would get paper out of the printer and make paper airplanes and throw them off the walkway of the 5th floor and watch them spin and go all the way down and hopefully not land in the fountain, because then we'd have a hard time getting them out. But that was one of the fun things I did growing up, spending time in the pyramid at CTSI.
Oh, I love that. Love that. If you guys are ever around, come see us in the pyramid. It's a very cool building. But really want to thank you, Jeff, so very much for being here. I've learned so much from you just from working with you and just having, that camaraderie that we have. And I know you just have so much knowledge, just not even from your years at CTSI, but just growing up around technology. That's a really cool experience and really cool history there. So
it's been great.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Good.
I believe it's been 13 years.
Yeah, I know. You haven't gotten rid of me yet. You're like, is she ever going to leave? All right. But if you don't have anything else, then I guess we can say goodbye. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today and for supporting us. Remember to follow us on our YouTube at CTSI Net. You can also visit our website if you have any questions, if there's anything that we can ever do or anything, that you would just like for us to talk about on these series. So with that, we will leave it. And once again, I'm Julie Heinrich, all about it.